evening, everyone. Good evening, all of you. How are you all? Good evening, Diksha. Good evening. Same here. Delighted to see you. Hi, Arohi. Okay. Good evening, Harshita. Anandita, hi. Hello. Hi, Darshana. All of you, I just saw a while back. I am perfectly fine. Thank you for asking. Hi, Janisha. Okay, what we're going to do today is slightly different. I think something that we in my sessions haven't done, right? We will be doing something called confusables. So we'll do five questions or 5 slides, which will basically be on confusables. All right. Just give me one moment though. One moment. Okay. Right. So yeah, as I was saying, it's going to be a different task. We're not going to do normal 5 words. We won't be doing it through videos this time today. All right, we'll have a little different class. Hi there. Screen is blurred. Now it's better. Should be better now. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to start with the first word. No? Then it's probably a network issue at your end, beta. Yeah, it's going to be it's probably a network issue on your end. And yes, of course, there's going to be a mentee, obviously. Mentee bhi hoga. और मेंटी भी थोड़ा सा मिक्स एंड मैच सॉर्ट ऑफ है चलो उस पे हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे ठीक है so I have the first question though first word so you need to also try and answer as much as you know so the first word is immoral versus amoral any 2 cents about any one of the words कोई भी ऐसा वर्ड है जो आपको मालूम हो immoral या amoral में से कोई भी एक वर्ड Pathfinder is fine. I would suggest although कि पहले सारे अपना कोर्स का खत्म करो before you pick up any other book. Hi Harshita. Immoral is unjust against ethics. ठीक है. What is amoral then? So immoral is not going according to morals. Not morally correct. ठीक है. बिल्कुल ठीक है. Anything about amoral? I'm going to give you examples, right? We will talk about immoral and amoral. Immoral, you're absolutely correct. Immoral would be basically negative morals or going against morals, so unethical. Then you have these words like somebody who's wicked, unprincipled, unscrupulous, iniquitous, nefarious, devious. ये सब हम words कर चुके हैं. All of it means चीजें that go against morals. That's immoral. Immoral was the wrong, immoral was the negative. Okay, not caring what is right or wrong. So amoral is basically not knowing whether there are anything called morals. Okay, so for example, agar aap log, when you go and kill, let's say, a person, is that, say yes or no, is that immoral? If a human being goes and kills a person, is that considered immoral? Do you think that's immoral? Yes. So that is wicked, that's unprincipled, that's against ethics, wicked hai, evil hai, nefarious hai, ye sab immoral hai. Now, for example, a fish, like maybe a shark or a whale, comes and eats up a person. Human को एक fish ने खा लिया. क्या fish को पता है ये चीज करना सही है या गलत? Whether this should be done or not? Yes or no? Does the fish know कि okay, गलत है ये काम करना? I shouldn't be eating this person up. मुझे भगवान punish करेगा. No idea. ठीक है, fish does not know any of that. So what the human did, knowing that this is the wrong path to take, and he took that path nonetheless, that's immoral. So negative morals, going against values. Amoral is without the knowledge of there being any morals, without the knowledge of there being any right or wrong. So what the fish did was, उसको नहीं पता वो जो भी कर रही है वो सही है या गलत है, she doesn't know or it doesn't know. So in that situation, that's amoral. Okay, so amoral is when you don't know whether something is right or wrong, so you don't know about what morals are. And immoral is when you're going against ethics, rules, values, morals, all of that. Breaking ethics knowingly is immoral. Breaking ethics unknowingly is immoral. Exactly correct. That's right. So that is our first comparison between two confusables. This one, what we're doing is confusables is very commonly asked in exams. ये fill in the blanks की तरह आ सकता है, right? So you should have a fair bit of idea about this, right? So let's go to the next question. Or the next word, exalt and exalt. I have some pictures in place for you so that you probably can make guesses. What does exalt mean? What does exalt mean? Any guesses for any of the words, any two of the words? कोई भी either of the words के लिए कोई guess हो as to what exalt is and what exalt is? Homophones है, हाँ जी, most of them are homophones. Exalt is praise, all right. Exalt is praise. And exalt is, so look at the pictures. Exalt, जब आप when you're praising somebody, किसी को बहुत ही high standards या high regards पे रख रहे हो, that is exalt. Okay. Exalt is to basically rejoice. Exalt is to rejoice because you achieved something. Okay. Yeah, there's some triumphant happiness. क्योंकि एक काम हो गया, something that you wanted to do. So maybe as a part of happiness, you rejoice, you triumph, you party, and that's what exalt is. So the difference between exalt and exalt is that exalt is basically to feel or to show triumph and jubilation, means बहुत ज़्यादा happiness and elation. To be rapturous because you achieved something, because you did something that you've always wanted to do. So triumph and jubilation is exalt. Hi Karthik. And exalt is to speak highly or keep someone in high regards, to glorify them, to lionize them, to revere them. That is exalting. So after she got the job, she exulted and partied. That means after the job, she felt extremely triumphant and very, very happy, very elated. So she partied. And the party will continue to exalt its hero. That means the party will keep revering, glorifying, making a big deal out of this person because he's its hero. Cajoling mostly is like buttering up. So that's a little different. उसका connotation and purpose of doing is a little different. Exalt is जब आप किसी को बहुत ज़्यादा respect करते हो तो आप उनके बारे में अच्छा बोलते हो या glorify करते हो. That's exalt. So it's like a positive word. Cajoling could be a little negative. Like veneration, correct. That is exalt. To venerate somebody, to revere them, that is exalt. Okay, that was our second comparison. Let's go to the third comparison. So for the third comparison, are these with restive and restless? Can you probably tell me or look at the pictures and probably discuss what restive and restless could mean? Any idea? Any one of the words would be okay. Exalt is a positive word, yes. So is exalt. Both words are positive. Any idea between restive and restless? Any one of the words, either में से कोई भी एक आता हो. Restless तो पता ही होगा, जब आप rest नहीं कर पाते. Is restive is active. Yeah, okay. Negatively active. Not able to relax is restless. ठीक है. Anxious to do work, though we're tired. Caught cat on a hot tin roof. Correct. That's right. So, difference between restless and restive is when you're restive, you're extremely active. Okay, you're like uncontrollably active. That so restive को आप active से याद रख सकते हो. So somebody is really active, that will be restive. Restless is somebody who cannot rest or can't chill out or is anxious all the time. So restive is difficult to control. So active that it gets difficult to control. Unruly, almost to a level where people can't calm them down. That's restive. So it's the opposite of rest. It's basically active, but in a negative sense, like active, but in a negative sense, in a way where people are losing control of them. That's restive. So look at the sentences that the children were restive and the parents got tired after a while. That means the children were so active, so unruly, so difficult to control that the parents were really trying to get them under control, but they weren't able to, and they got tired at the end of the day. That is restive. Restless is somebody who is unable to relax or rest or is anxious or is troubled in their heads, have something in their on their heads that is keeping them up, keeping them restless, keeping them not in a state where they could relax or calm down. That is restless. So she was restless throughout the night because of her illness. Because of her illness, she was not, resting. She wasn't sleeping. She wasn't relaxing. There was a constant fear or something or the other that was. So restive and restless का clear हो गया difference. Restive is here when you're extremely active, so much so that you go out of control. And restless is when you are not able to chill down or relax. Opposite of docile. Docile is submissive. So dominant would be the opposite of docile. Here the idea is not that this group is dominant, it's just they're unruly. So tranquility का opposite कह सकते हैं. You can be restless for an exam. Yes, absolutely. And let's say you have a lot of coffee. What happens after that is you become restive. You become extremely active, so much so that out of control होने वाली है. Restive is negative. Restless is negative too. Both of them are negative words. Okay. Let's head to the next question. Like a sugar rush, yeah, or a caffeine rush. That's right. Next picture, carefree versus careless. What is the difference between carefree and careless? This one's an easy one. Any idea? Any one of them? Actually, Hindi mein I had one time asked one of my father about this. There were some Hindi words that we were looking at, and I asked them, and he described me this. एक लापरवाह होता है और एक बेपरवाह होता है. So I think लापरवाह is careless and बेपरवाह is carefree. Not wrong. This is what it is. Carefree is flippant and frivolous, easygoing, do not care about anything. Careless is being ignorant, is like butt fingers, more negative in sense. That's correct. So carefree is खुश रहने वाला, ज़्यादा टेंशन नहीं लेने वाला. Careless, on the other hand, is a negative sense. Responsibility na lena is careless. Carefree is a positive sense. People don't care about small things. Correct. And careless is ignorant, like you said, negligent. Okay? Yes. Deeksha, thank you. So carefree is a positive word. Carefree means free of anxiety, blithe, nonchalant, unworried, insouciant. There's another word that you can probably note down, which is a new word for you probably. It's called blasé. Blasé also means, chilled out, flippant. बहुत serious चीजों को ज़्यादा seriously ना लेना. That is blasé. That's carefree. So we were young and carefree. That means हम बेफिक्र घूमते थे. Like it was all chill. Careless, on the other hand, is negative, which means you're not giving sufficient attention to things that need your attention. Or you're inattentive, you are remiss, you're a negligent person, you're ignorant, you are not paying attention to your responsibility, shirking away from responsibility. That's careless. Uncautious, right? When you're not cautious, that is careless. Blithe is also when you're taking serious चीजों को बहुत lightly. So chill में लेना चीजों को, that's blithe. So she had been careless and had left the window unlocked. That means leaving the window unlocked can be a very, very serious problem. Right here, this person is negligent, is not taking responsibility, is not cautious. That is careless. So, beparwa और लापरवाह में जो difference होता है, that's the difference between carefree and careless. Think of a sentence with blithe. So we can say this person was blithe about his problems. Blithe about his problems would be carefree. ठीक है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, जो प्रॉब्लम्स है वो है, क्या कर सकते हैं, that kind of thing. Okay, not responsible, correct. That is for careless. Yeah, like a culture, sure, basic. Okay, so clear about F and careless. Carefree is positive, careless is negative, careless is negligent. Okay, last पे चलते हैं. The words are illicit versus elicit. What is the difference between illicit and elicit? Any one of the words you can probably tell me if you have any knowledge about any one of them. Beparwa and laparwa is the best possible definition. That's my father. It's all thanks to my father. He reminded me of this. Illicit is illegal. Implicit, explicit, pata hai hi nahi pata. Okay. So illicit is illegal, but let's say if I'm trying to elicit answers from you, okay. If I'm, let's say, trying to elicit answers from you, what does elicit mean? Illicit is breaking legal or social rules. Absolutely correct. Evoking, trying, deriving, extracting, trying to take something out of you, right? So that's illicit versus illicit. Let's look at the definition. Illicit is something that's unlawful, illegitimate, illegal, interdicted, unsanctioned, which means interdicted, again, something that's forbidden. All right. Unsanctioned, something that the law does not allow. Okay, so all of that means illicit. So she's selling illicit drugs. That means she's selling drugs that are not allowed to be sold in the market. Illicit, on the other hand, is to evoke, to draw out, to bring out, to extract, to prompt you from saying something, to trigger something out of you, right? That's what elicit is. So inquire karna in a way can be to elicit something out of you, right? So I try to elicit a smile from Joanna. That means I tried bringing out a smile on her face, prompting a smile, triggering a smile, etc. That is explicit and illicit same. No, explicit means something that is out in the open. Explicit is something that is not censored. Now, it could be in a negative sense, like it can be something that's vulgar. Explicit could also be that I spoke explicitly to you. That means I did not, keep anything away from you. There were no secrets. I openly talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. So explicit and implicit means explicit is something that's out in the open. Implicit is something that's hidden, not directly said. That's the difference. So illicit is illegal, explicit is open. So quite different. Okay? So illicit is illegal, illicit is to bring out, to prompt something from you, to trigger something from you. That is that, right? Is elicit a negative word? No. Elicit is definitely not a negative word. If I'm trying to elicit answers from you, that's not negative, right? It's a normal word. Yes, there's an A missing there, correct. Okay, so I hope that those 5, actually 10 words did some benefit to you. इसमें हमने जो भी discussion किया so far, carefree, careless, illicit, elicit. We did more immoral, amoral, all right, and exalt, exalt. And there was one more, and restible, restless. So these were the 5 things that we've discussed. I'm going to take you to the mentee part of today. And so aaj ka mentee is also, like I was saying, it's a mixed thing. Okay, so I am expecting that it's not very difficult, honestly. But again, it's a very subjective thing to say. However, there are only a few questions that can be tricky. Baki are not very tricky. That I can say for sure. That's not very tricky. In mocks, I'm able to get around 90% in all sections, but vocabulary idioms always bring my score down, he said. Beta, for that, I remember telling you ki, you have to use sticky notes to help yourself remember words. There's no other way. And that can be for words and idioms, both. So make sure that you do that sticky notes wala thing you should be doing. And suggestion would also be to not attempt questions that you have idea about, like anything else. So तुक्के मत मारो, जो आता है वो ही attempt करो, जो नहीं आता उसको छोड़ दो. That's very, very important, and we don't realize that in general. So the code for the day for today's mentee is 41190318. आ जाओ सब लोग, जल्दी जल्दी join कर लो, and we will head to discuss. Flashcards help, right? Absolutely they do. Flashcards are very, very helpful. So when we were students, we used to use flashcards because we used to go out. Schools वगैरह जाते थे हम लोग, तो हमारे पास sticky notes वाला सीन नहीं हो पाता था. But since we're not going anywhere at the moment, we are not going to schools as such. We are spending most of the time at home. So sticky notes help because then in that sense, you're sticking them around and looking at them time and again. So it's majorly a photographic memory that you're using instead of, rote memory. It's photographic. तो आप जो चीज ज्यादा देर तक ज्यादा बारी देखोगे, you will tend to remember, those more often. Whatever words I read never comes. Beta, for that synonyms help. So जो भी words हम करते हैं उसके synonyms we tend to give you, and that should help. So it's not just about the word per se. It's also about the synonyms and the antonyms that we discussed in classes. That should be equally helpful. Okay, चलते हैं पहले question पे. First question for you guys on your screens. Be careful while answering these questions, okay? So first question is a grammar question. No, it's a vocab question. Which of the following means publicly rejecting or abandoning something or someone? The spelling of abandoning misses an N. What just happened? Okay. पहले तो let me just fix this. इसमें को OCD होता रहेगा. Okay, the other thing that you need to look at is denounce is to criticize something. Okay, denouncing is criticizing, censuring, being very critical about something. That is denounce. Renounce is to abandon your belief, something, rejecting publicly. When you are, let's say, I remember doing this word with you when I had done this with I think Ramleela की clip दिखाई थी जिसमें Ranveer Singh was taking off his pagdi and saying that I am kind of renouncing the position or the post that I am on, right? Abdicate karna, basically. So that is renounce. Renouncing is when you're publicly saying that I'm not a part of this party anymore, or I'm not a part of the religion anymore, or I'm abandoning my religion. That is renounce. Denounce is to criticize somebody, to be very, very critical, almost to an extent of slandering them कि publicly आप उनके बारे में बुरा भला कह रहे हो. That's a different thing. So denounce is publicly and openly talking shit about somebody, and renounce is publicly and openly abandoning something or rejecting something and saying that I'm not a part of this anymore. That's renounce. Okay, so 4 of you have correctly answered this. Let's look at the leaderboard. The 4 people have answered this correctly. The base is denounce, yes. Roy, Shrestha, Kinky, and Siddharth. Okay, let's go to the next question. It's a very similar question, so ध्यान से करना. There were dash fights in the last year between them, continuous and continuous. So if you understand something again, when you say continuous, which means continuous means unending without a break. Okay. Continual means frequent. Now, obviously, you cannot have fights which don't have breaks. Like that's humanly not possible. कि एक साल तक continuously लड़ रहे हो without breaks लड़ रहे हो, right? That doesn't make sense. Frequent fights is all right. Okay, there were frequent fights, continually fights हो रही थी. So continuous in the concept, in the context doesn't make sense. कि एक साल तक बिना रुके लड़ाई हो रही है, like ऐसा कौन सी war चल रही है आप लोगों के बीच में? Right, so here the idea is fighting, not war. So unending हो नहीं सकता, continual होगा, frequent, which means continual is the correct answer. I am hoping that you understood this. यहाँ तक बात समझ में आई? Okay, let's look at the next, which is the leaderboard. I'm great. Thank you. So now, somebody called It's Okay, who's also the fastest to answer this, is on top. Then Nikha, Anvesh, Shah, Roy, Manya, Tanisha, Shrestha, Harshita, Eden. Okay. Next question. I think now what we have are spelling questions. If I'm not sure. Look at the screen for your third question. Here you go. Spelling. Okay, thank God. So bodyguard, guard is G-U-A-R-D, and this doesn't make sense. That's incorrect spelling. So 29 of you have answered this correctly. So like I said, it wasn't that difficult. If you want to enroll in Pratham, beta नीचे जो student helpline का number लिखा है, you can talk to them and get yourself enrolled. You see on right underneath the screen. So on the leaderboard, It's Oki's on top, fastest. Nicker second, Tanisha, Shrestha, Manya, Harshita, Roy, E.G., Mastani, and Ronald. Let's look at the next question. Question number 4. Fourth question is again a spelling question. Okay. Spelling of propaganda. Okay, so it's propaganda. It's P-A, not P-O. All right, so answer is A. 23 of you answered this correctly. 10 of you haven't. A, propaganda is P-R-O, P-A-G-N-D-A. And in terms of your leaderboard, who is it, Soki and Nikha? Because it's Soki is the fastest and also on top, then Tanisha, Roy, Manya, Mastani, Harshita, Nikha, Ronald, it's mentioned. Last question for you guys. On your screens, again, a correct spelling of this one has been asked before too, so I'm hoping you'd know. Bizarre is B-I-Z-Z-A-R-R-E. Double Z nahi aata, single Z aata hai. All right, and so 12 of you answered this correctly and 23 of you haven't. Offline online classes abhi beta abhi currently online hai sara. Everything is online so far. So in terms of your leaderboard, Itsuki has 1. Who is Itsuki? Then Nikhil second, Ronald, Shrestha, Tanisha, Roy, Manya. Chola is your Mastani and Harshita. Okay, so that brings me to the end of the session for the day. And see, this time around, you can't tell me that the Menti quiz was difficult. It was Karthik. Is it okay? Congratulations, Karthik. ये तो confusion हो गई. Arohi was Rohi. Oh, yes, I'll do that. Karthik, ठीक है, मैं देखती हूँ. Okay, so that brings me to the end. I hope you had fun, and I'm going to see you on in the next session. Right? Until then, take care of yourselves. See you soon. Have a very good night and a very good week. Take care of yourselves. Bye.